Hi, it's another fantastic day in Coto de Caza, Orange County, California. This is June 30th. Look at this weather we're having. Holy smokes. Wow. This is our coast live oak tree, Quercus agrifolia. It's like the heart of our whole canyon here. But today we're going to look at our Xeriscape drought-tolerant garden. This is our succulent garden, and down here is our herb garden we'll spend more time down at. And let's take a look at these succulents here. Got a beautiful little jade. Here's our bear's paw. It's a perfect little bear's paw. All right, we have our aeoniums. This is our palo verde from the genus Parkinsonia. It's a great little pollinator. The little bees here. It's in full bloom. We got this green chlorophyll branches and stems on this plant. Here's our little sea of senecios. We have our echeverias. All right, some more senecios. But down here's our herb garden. I'll show you. Okay, nice little archway. This is a foxtail agave. It's got these really soft edges, unlike the other agaves with the sharp edges. Even the tip is kind of soft up here. And he'll bloom once in his lifetime, sometime, and then he'll die. Over here we have more of our senecio. And these guys have crested down here. It's a cresting senecio. How about that? So we're going to start here in our herb garden, at right behind our butterfly bush. Okay, we're going to walk around clockwise, all the way around, until we get back to our butterfly bush. So we're going to start here with a licorice plant, Helichrysum petiolare. Okay, and it gets its name petiolare from the little, tiny little petioles that hold the leaves to the stems. Okay, and this is a white licorice variety. It comes to us from South Africa, but you find it naturalized in the United States and Portugal. And it gets its name licorice plant because the leaves here, all right, they smell a little bit like licorice. You can brew a medicinal tea from the stems and the leaves. You can also mush it up to make a little concoction to help prevent infections from wounds. But it's not a true licorice plant like the plant Glycyrrhiza, which is the licorice that you eat. Okay, and this is a trailing evergreen subshrub, so it doesn't get too tall. It makes great ground cover. It's got these furry little leaves. These are little gray-green. These are on the lighter side. This is the white variety. It's got small little white flowers that pop up in spring. We don't have any here because it's June. And it likes full sun, well-drained soils, but it is susceptible to root rot if you water it too much. Here we got another one over here. All right, this guy here, he's called a sweet pea shrub, Polygala myrtifolia, or Polygala myrtifolia. Either way is fine. It's also called a myrtle leaf milkwort. Now it comes to us from South Africa. It's an evergreen shrub, sometimes even a small tree. Usually grows about 6 to 12 feet tall. Gets its name sweet pea because little flowers here. All right, kind of late in the season, but they kind of look like little sweet pea flowers. All right, we got some over here too. Very cute. Little purple pinkish tone. But they'd also be crimson and white, and they close up every night. Okay, so the leaves, okay, they're thin. Here we go. They're really thin. They're a little oval. They're pointed, a little lighter on the bottom than on the top. And some varieties are actually even needle-like. And the fruits, okay, they come in little tiny brown capsules. And they get little wings on them. This is considered a fast pioneering plant. So it likes to grow on dunes, rocks, maybe open grasslands that are disturbed. Okay, and it's used for some antibacterial, antifungal medicinal purposes. Next to it here is our California lilac, of course, from the genus Ceanothus. This is a concha variety. Some people call it a California mountain lilac. It's one of the oldest and prettiest cultivars of lilac. These guys have been pruned back. So what we have today, we don't have any flowers today, right? But here's a picture of some flowers, what this guy looks like around late May. So he's native to the central coast of California. If you try to grow it in other areas, it's really tough and they're rather short-lived. It's an evergreen shrub, gets about 3 to 6 feet high, maybe even 3 to 6 feet wide. It's a quick grower for about 3 years, then it produces those flowers. Okay, it's got a slight fragrance on the leaves here. And the leaves are a little elongated, ovate. They're light on the bottom, dark on top. They're really waxy, and that's great for preventing evaporation and transpiration. And it's really, really good for attracting butterflies. Okay, it's our California lilac. And here, this guy here, of course, is a Perezs Sea Lavender, Limonium perezii. Now, it's commonly known as a seafoam status, sometimes a marsh rosemary, and is native to the Canary Islands, but it's a very popular ornamental across the world. It's a very tough perennial herb. It's got thick, woody stems. See down here. Okay, it's got a basal rosette that develops at the bottom, and then the stems come up and they work out themselves to these beautiful panicle flowers right here. So the leaves of our sea lavender, here we go, they're really thick. Okay, they're really tough, oval to round shape. We've got these long petioles, okay, that connect the leaves. Look at that, real long, almost looks like a stem, but it's really a petiole. Connects the leaf to the main stems. And at the top, we have this beautiful panicle or cluster of flowers. It's got lavender colored sepals. Look real closely here. And it's got white petals. It's great for bees. Look at that guy. Okay. And these guys bloom, you know, better in spring, early summer, but you get these guys blooming as well now in June. You can cut these off for a little arrangement. Very paper-like, you hear that? Very paper-like. Little arrangement inside your house. So that's Perezs Sea Lavender. Okay, over here, this is California Buckwheat Ariganum fasciculatum. This is a textbook California chaparral plant. Everything up and down the coast of California, southwestern United States, northern Mexico. You find it out in the Mojave and Sonoran deserts. Very tough, resilient plant, easy to grow, even in super dry conditions. And it gets its species name, fasciculatum, okay, because the leaves here, they grow in fascicles, or bundles, as they work themselves up the stem. Okay, and a fascicle is called a bundle or a cluster. That's how it gets its name, fasciculatum. Okay, it's used as a medicinal plant in some ancient times. And the flowers, okay, they're really dense cluster of tiny little flowers you see here. And they're great at attracting bees. So that's California Buckwheat Ariganum fasciculatum. And here, this is our autumn sage, salviai, or Salvia gregii. So it's a true sage from the genus Salvia. It's native to southwest Texas, Chihuahuan Desert, parts of Mexico. It's an herbaceous perennial plant. Likes to grow in rocky areas. Likes low water, well-draining soils. Grows about 1 to 4 feet tall. okay, and equally wide. The leaves, get a close up here of our leaves. They're a little mid-green color, not too bright. Okay, they're glabrous. They have a spicy fragrance to them as well. Oops, I broke the stem off. Okay, and the flowers, now these are a little purplish, but they do vary in color. Most are scarlets or reds. You can get them in pink, lavender, apricot, violet, and even white. And over here is a sister plant to our autumn sage. This is called baby sage, or black currant sage. Okay, Salvia microphylla. It's also called a hot lips variety because the flowers, see, the flowers are reddish or crimson, but also white. So white up here. Okay, and a lot of times you get white. Here we go, look at that. White and crimson on the same flower. So this is a true sage from the genus Salvia. It grows about 3 to 4 feet tall, equally wide. The leaves are ovate, a little bit different than our autumn sage. And when crushed, they have a very strong fragrance, similar to black currants. It's used for a medicinal plant for making tea. And they spread from underground, and they'll spread out in big, dense patches. And they're terrific at attracting carpenter bees and little butterflies. Wow. Let's go over here now. Okay? Okay, hope this is fun. Okay, this plant here is called Ivory bells. Coriaalba, also known as white coria. It's a hybrid developed at UC Davis in Central or Northern California. But it originally comes to us from Australia. It's called an Australia fuchsia, but it's not a true fuchsia. It's an evergreen spreading shrub. Grows about 5 feet high. And the stems are like a rust colored. See that? Okay, they're a little woolly, a little bit hairy, if you can see some hairs on there. Okay, and the leaves, they're also leathery here. They're egg-shaped, they're a little circular. And the lower sides of the leaves, they're covered with hairs. Look how hairy that is. Wow. Okay, it's got erect white flowers when they're in bloom on short branches, and sometimes they're even a little pinkish. Okay, and they flower from April through June, but we don't have any flowers because it looks like our maintenance guys just kind of hedged these back a little bit. Now, out in Australian Tasmania, the leaves of our ivory bells, they're used for making tea. We got a whole bunch of these here. Okay, have some more sea lavender. Beautiful little purple. Oh, hey. Little butterfly here. Wow. So, there he goes. All right. So this one here, this is called a Jerusalem sage. Phlomis Fruticosa. It's a flowering plant. It comes from the Mediterranean, like Greece, Italy, Turkey, Albania. It's an evergreen shrub. We'll get some in the light here so it looks a little better. It's got these sage-like, really soft, bunny shaped and textured leaves. Look how soft and fuzzy that is. But of course it's not a sage. Okay, it's a Phlomis. The leaves are long, they're wrinkled, they're a little gray-green. They have white undersides. See how white that is? Okay, compared to the top. And they flower from about April through June. So we have here kind of the remnants of the older flowers. And the flowers, they grow in whorls. So here we go. So the flowers will grow on a whorl. This is many flowers kind of in a circle. And then they'll stop. Here's a good example. See this guy here, he died out, but he sent up a new shoot, make new flowers, and the stem may get up to like 20 different sets of whorls on one stem. How about that? All right, so here, this is an Indian hawthorn, Raphaelepista umbellata. Everybody knows this plant. Grows about 5 feet tall, evergreen shrub. It's got glossy leaves on it. Okay, scented white flowers when you get blooms. It's a super common shrub in shopping centers and parking lots since it makes such a great hedge. It's not really an herb. Super easy to grow, so I'm not really sure even why it's here. This one here is my favorite one. Okay, this guy's called a Showy Island Snapdragon. Also a Showy Greenbright. Gets its name Showy Island because it comes to us from the Channel Islands outside Southern California, like Catalina Island or Santa Cruz Island in Baja California. All right, so it's an island plant. It's also an endangered species, but it's a pretty common ornamental like we have here. It's very easy to grow, fast-growing perennial, grows about 1 to 3 feet high, about 10 feet wide. So it gets its name, or its genus Speciosa, which means showy, and that comes from these pretty flowers that are left over from blooming season, and this little snapdragon. See how it's snapdragon right there? I don't even want to pick him off, he's so cute. See, little snapdragon, right? Just like that. So he's great for hummingbirds. Now, he gets a bit viney. What you want to do when you cut them or prune them, you want to cut the tall vines off. Like this guy, they missed him. Thank goodness, because he has the flowers. But you get this, keep this shape. Super drought tolerant, and you only water this guy in summer like only 2 times a month. Okay? And our final plant is this guy here. Of course, this is a butterfly bush, Buddleia davidii. Some people call it a summer lilac. We have a bunch of painted lady butterflies visiting today, and it comes to us from China and Japan. It's widely used as an ornamental. Gets about 16 feet high. This guy's probably 10 feet high at the top. And the magic of this plant, it will always continue to grow as long as it has good direct sun. And you water it, no matter what time of year. And the flowers, you got this real dense panicle inflorescence at the top here. These purple flowers. The hummingbirds and the butterflies, they love this. That's why they call it a butterfly bush. When the flowers die back, they'll leave seeds. And these seeds, you can plant them yourself. All right? If you want. And every season, our maintenance guys, they just hack these guys real tight. Okay? And the flowers, they are hermaphroditic. So that means it's got the male and the female parts on the same little flowers we have here. Okay, they're easy to grow. They're considered invasive in many parts of the world. It's a butterfly bush because it's great for attracting butterflies to your garden. So that's our herb garden in Coto de Caza. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.